Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC Fight Night, Magny versus Ponzinibbio. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight of the night, our first prelim of the night, and our first prediction of the night. So in our first fight, we have in the featherweight division, Nad Narimani versus Anderson Dos Santos. Anderson Dos Santos is good at finishing you on the feet, and he can finish you on the ground, but the downside is that he's more of a hammer than a nail. He can't really deal with tough situations, but when he's offensive and when he's getting things working, he's hard to deal with, and he can finish you pretty quickly. Very destructive, very offensive, very aggressive. But then you got Nad Narimani, who's more so the full package. He can adapt, he can attack on the feet to finish you on the feet and on the ground, but he also has the ability to adapt, endure tough times, regroup, change game plans, change strategies, and just like work. And he can like I say, he can endure those tough situations, and he can embrace that grind. And I think that's what's really going to edge it. It's not about, oh, who's this, who's that. I think that Nad Narimani has the ability to embrace the grind, adapt, change, and make the necessary changes. And I think that's what's going to come down. It's going to be one of those fights going to be tough. It's going to be gritty. And Narimani's going to be the one who can endure more and push out more and adapt more and do what needs to be done more in the situations that need to be done. So in this fight, I got Nad Narimani via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Devin Powell versus Jesus Pinedo. And Jesus Pinedo, lanky guy. Devin Powell, lanky guy. Devin Powell has had a couple fights in the UFC already. It was looking like he's about to be out, like heading out of the UFC as soon as he got in the UFC. Then he turned it around, got a nice body kick, and it changed his whole career around, at least for the present moment, or at least for that time. You got Jesus Pinedo, young fighter, also, like I said, also lanky, good at submissions. But I think, as far as what they go, I think Devin Powell has fought better competition, and he's been able to stay in there with better competition. He's more durable and more proven, whereas Jesus Pinedo, he has a lot of talent, but has yet to be proven. And I think that's what's going to come down. I think Devin Powell, he's been in there with tough competition and really hasn't been stopped, whereas Jesus Pinedo hasn't been in there with that competition. And I think their styles are similar, but I think Devin Powell's at least is more proven. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to use that veteran experience. So he'll fight a fighter that's a little bit younger, a little bit less proven, and a little bit less experience, and he's going to use that experience over him to get that edge. So not much to really draw from in this fight, but I think Devin Powell is going to be able to have the striking advantage, then the grappling advantage, they probably be about the same. But, when you have advantage in one area, it kind of leaks into the other areas. I think it's all going to be kind of leaning towards Devin Powell, especially coming off that win where he finally showed the ability to stop somebody on the feet, especially at this level. He's going to have a lot of confidence coming to this fight. He's going to be training harder. He's going to be improving, and with that confidence comes, just boost your skills a little, because then you're going to be more willing to do things, and everything's going to just build off that momentum. So I think he's going to have all this stuff factoring for him, and I'm seeing him just kind of putting on a impressive performance and a pretty clear decision for Devin Powell. So in this fight, I got Devin Powell via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Laureano Strapoli versus Hector Aldana. So looking at this fight at first, I was looking like Laureano Strapoli would win this fight because nice height, nice age, good shape, good build, good skill set and all that stuff, and he was had pretty much momentum was looking like it was on his side. He even had more experience than Hector Aldana as far as just overall fights. I think Aldana only had 5 fights, 4-1, which Strapoli got 10-2 or something. So he has more fights actually, even though Hector Aldana is the UFC veteran, or at least he has the more veteran fighter as far as UFC goes coming into this fight. Which Strapoli, like I said, he could finish on the feet, finish on the ground. Nice long for the weight class, for the weight class. Well, not too long for the weight class, but a good decent height, 6 feet at welterweight. That's pretty decent. 6'3" would be kind of tall for welterweight, but 6 feet. There's a lot of lanky 6 feet on welterweight, so it's still a respectable height for welterweight, especially if you can use it right. So I was looking at those things. Hector Aldana is coming off a TKO loss. Strapoli's riding a couple winning streaks, a couple fight winning streaks. So I was looking at the momentum, but looking at Hector Aldana's fight, I think really there's not gonna be too many people at this level in the UFC. At this beginner entry level in the UFC that can do that to him. The way that Keenan Song did. Keenan Song has very sharp punches, and even at the highest level of MMA right now, it's rare to find somebody with that much power and that sharp and that straight. And Keenan Song or Song Keenan, whatever his name is, he has some very sharp straights, very heavy hands. He does a lot of straight punches. I think most people are not gonna be able to throw with that amount of power and that clean. And even Keenan Song was struggling to really land consistent clean shots on Aldana. Aldana's very aggressive. He has very good at wrestling. Or at least it's supposed to, maybe not the control, but the aspect of at least hitting these shots and carrying these takedowns. The control is not there necessarily yet, but as far as the ability to get people on the ground is impressive. And change levels is impressive. He has great cardio, great pace. He has power of his own, so he's just a difficult fighter for people at this level. And I think that's just going to be the case for Strapoli, because Hector Aldana, like I said, he's a tough out for people at this level. He has a good cardio, he has power, he has pressure, and he has some good shot. Those people, it's really hard for people to deal with that at this level, and I think it's going to be a little bit too much for Tripoli coming into the UFC. And like I said, he's not going to have that power to necessarily, and not even just power with the sharpness to, to stop him in his place. I think Hector Aldana's going to be all over him, but it's going to be a good fight. He's going to put up a fight, but Hector Aldana is going to be too aggressive, too much in his face, and landing too much on him. It's going to be like the pressure and the pace is going to be a little bit too much for Tripoli, I think. And it's going to be a decision victory for Hector Aldana. So in this fight, I have Hector Aldana via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Humberto Baden versus Austin Arnett. So looking at this fight, again, you got like a kind of an almost sort of mirror match. Two young guys, two lanky guys at featherweight. I think they're both, one's like 5'11", Baden like 5'11", Austin Arnett is 6 feet at featherweight. So two long, lanky guys. Both good at submissions. I think Baden has at least had the better UFC career, even though they both really had much of a career in the UFC. I think Austin Arnett's like 0-3 in the UFC. Baden is like 1-1. Both his winning laws came so quick that you couldn't really even judge anything. We got a quick knockout, then got quickly knocked out. Like what, in under a minute? Like both his fights are literally under a minute. A win in under a minute and a loss in under a minute. You got Austin Arnett. He's proven to be at least been gritty. I mean, not gritty, be a tough guy. He's fought some good competition, but and he went to decision with a couple people that probably would have stopped a lot of other people. So he definitely has a sturdy chin. He's a more sturdy guy. We saw in Baden's loss to Benitez, he was getting dropped in he got dropped in the first 20 seconds. Then he almost secured the arm bar. Then got slammed and knocked out. So he pretty much got knocked senseless like 2 times in under a minute. So I don't know how good his chin is. I know Benitez has some power, but it's not that phenomenal power to be getting dropped like that and knocked unconscious like that just by him touching you. I don't know. So I don't know how tough this guy is or how tough his chin is, but he's certainly a solid young fighter and has a lot of skills. And that's why I'm kind of edgy to him. I just think they both have similar styles. Both are similarly well rounded. I'd probably give Austin the toughness advantage and probably the striking advantage, but I give a slight grappling advantage to Baden. And I don't think the striking too much Austin Arnett's side. And Austin Arnett really doesn't have power in his hand. Like, he's landing clean on a lot of people, and they really just kept coming at him. Like, they don't really respect his power too much. So he doesn't really have to deal with power too much in this fight against Austin Arnett. So that gives him room to implement his grappling more, at least to get his groove going more and get some more time in the cage. And him being the slightly younger fighter, I think he will improve more coming into this fight and make the changes he needs to come into this fight and adapt and do what he needs. It's going to be one of those close type of fights. I think it could go either way. It's going to be one of those split decision type fights. But I'm going to go with Humberto Baden via a very gritty, close decision that could go either way. So in this fight, I got Humberto Baden via decision. And if you want to say confident or not confident, this is one of those fights where I'm not very confident on who will win or who won't win. But I'm leaning towards Humberto Baden. So on to our next fight. We have our co-prelim headliner of the prelim. So in our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, Alexandre Pantoja versus Uka Sasaki. So Uka Sasaki, never was really high on him, but I definitely saw him as somebody that was very talented, young, and had a very good frame for flyweight. I don't know his exact height, but he's very he looked like a basketball player playing. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, but basically he's tall as a mug at a very small weight class, and he still holds up. He has a good shape for the weight class, even though he's tall. He's not like somebody that be tall and has no cardio, lose all his ability. He's still tall, he's fast. So he could be one of those tall people that could have, still skilled, tall, and use that range and be a threat going into the division. But he's failed to really be a threat in the division. Every time he fights somebody decent, he loses. Then he wins a couple fights in between. I think the best one he has is Justin Scoggins. And that's really Scoggins just making having a mental breakdown in the fight more so than Uka Sasaki being so impressive or doing something so amazing. It was more so a slip up by Scoggins, and that's his best win. He's tall for the weight class. He has some impressive, some solid grappling, solid striking. But he himself be brain locking. He himself doesn't be putting stuff together the way he could. He hasn't been making improvements that he could, or making the moving in the right direction with his career that he can. So at any time he definitely can out of nowhere everything just clicks and he just comes out and put on an amazing performance. But then looking at Alexandre Pantoja, I think he's a more complete fighter. He's a more proven fighter. He's been out there doing what he has to do. Outside of people that have really good grappling and could put that really good grappling pressure, he has not really lost anybody else. I mean, really that's all he lost. He lost Formiga. He lost to that, I forget that Asian guy, but that Asian guy has real phenomenal grappling, real phenomenal top control. He just has real good control. People that have real good jiu-jitsu or real good at grappling and real good control. those are people he loses to. But everybody else he just dominates because he has solid striking. He has good grappling of his own. He can submit you. He can knock you out. He's real sharp with his strikes, real fast. He has real good reflex. So he's a very dangerous fighter. And he can definitely be somebody that be in the title picture with the flyweight division about to be out of the way. But the flyweight division would have stayed around or would have stuck around. He definitely somebody you could have possibly seen in the title picture in really a year or even less, maybe not say 2 years or less. He would have been right in that title picture because he's that solid all around. So looking at him against Sasaki, I think Sasaki will have the reach advantage, but I think Pantoja still will have the striking advantage. I think he has better shot selection, he has better reflex, and he's sharper. He's on the ground. I think his grappling is better. He's gonna have the center of gravity advantage, so I think he will be the one available for the shots. It's not like Sasaki has a real good guillotine or nothing to threaten with. So I think it's all around. Pantoja just have the edge. He makes the better decisions. He has the better skill set, and he's the more proven fighter. I don't think there'll be no knockout or nothing, but I think Pantoja will be able to pick him apart on the feet, deal with him on the ground, probably get some reversals or get some shots if he needs them. But all around, I think Pantoja just wins this fight everywhere. So in this fight, I got Alexandre Pantoja via decision. Now on to our main event, or not our main event, our prelim headliner we have in the welterweight division, Michel Prazeres versus Bartos Verbinski. So Prazeres definitely has fought in at least the bigger names and the better competition. He has definitely put in much more work. Verbinski, I think, was he out for like a couple years and he was here and then like you haven't really seen him fight too much. Then he came back and did what he did before he left. So you got Prazeres, a very short, stocky, powerhouse dude. Definitely a lightweight. He was muscling people around, but if he comes up in the welterweight division, it's going to be that power advantage going to quickly go away because he's not going to be fighting 155 versus he's fighting 170. So he did look okay in his first fight. He's still strong at his weight class. Even coming up at like 15 pounds, he's still one of the stronger people. Well, I wouldn't say one of the strong, but he's still a very strong dude, even at welterweight. And then he don't have a speed advantage because he's coming up from, he's still fresh off 155, or at least catch weight 155, fighting 155ers, because he only made the weight like one time at 155, or maybe twice. But yeah, whatever the case about him, still strong, very short, very stocky, powerful, solid grappling. But the thing is, he's going up against Bartos Verbinski. This is a guy who knows what he wants to do. He's not one of those like welterweights that like, oh, I'm fighting a little guy, maybe I can't get on these shots, or maybe I got to match that cardio. He's a dude that knows what he does. He does one thing, and he's going to do that regardless of how many people booing or how many people doing this. Because I remember after one fight, he wrestled a dude the whole time. Dude couldn't do nothing. Then they're like, "Why don't you strike more?" He was looking at the crowd confused, looking at the person confused. He's like, "Why would I strike? I wrestle. That's what I do." Like he's not one of those people that confused what he did. He's not one of those wrestlers who's going to turn into a striker. He knows he does one thing. He does one thing well. He wrestles. He grapples, and he's not going to let the crowd booing change that or any commentators or any person like try to tell him what to do something different, unless maybe he himself sees that he needs to do something different. But as far as he knows, he's going to be trained at wrestling. He's going to have that cardio. He's going to have that pace, and he's going to do all he knows how to do, and he's going to grapple. And he's a big, strong dude. He's going to have the strength advantage, in my opinion. Prazeres will have the striking advantage for sure, and definitely that center of gravity. But I think Bartos Verbinski just going to be putting too much pressure with the wrestling. It's going to be relentless. He's going to be able to do that for pretty much as long as he want to do. He's one of those wrestlers, like I said, like they know what they're going to do. They're not going to come in there with only these little short camps of wrestling and focusing in and mixing things all up. He's going to put all his attention and really into one area and probably a little bit of attention to strike so he can hold his own there. And he's going to be able to wrestle for probably 30 minutes if needed. But it's only going to be 15 minutes. He's going to be able to wrestle and put up a high pace of wrestling and just be very aggressive with that. Going for shot after shot after shot, getting takedowns, breaking Prazeres down. That's the thing. That's going to be the fight. It's going to be a very grinding, tiring type of performance. But it's going to be one of those performances where he just kind of just grinds out Prazeres until he breaks him down. Prazeres starts gassing, and he just keeps bending on him relentlessly and grind him out to a decision. So in this fight, I got Bartos Verbinski. Oh, let me say that again. Let me clear this up. I want to stutter on the little final conclusion. So in this fight, I have Bartos Verbinski via decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for the prelims of UFC Fight Night, Magny versus Ponzinibbio. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.